It is Wednesday, October the 11th. A lovely day out here at the moment. With the exception of the temperature, you can see we have a beautiful blue sky right now. Possibly a bit of rain later today. Right now is absolutely gorgeous. The temperature, however, is only 8 degrees Celsius, so rather on the chilly side. And the pond, I just checked the temperature a few moments ago. It is now down to about 14.5 degrees Celsius. So definitely cooling down quite a bit. Last week or the week prior to that, we had the air conditioning going because it was in the low to mid 30s temperature wise. We've dropped down overnight now into the single digits and up into the sort of 13 or 14 degree range during the daytime. And we're not there yet because it is about 9:30 in the morning here. My plan is to move some of the koi, or at least starting to get the koi moved to the indoor pond. Now the indoor pond is approximately 15 to 16 degrees Celsius, maybe a little bit warmer, so it's on the cool side, which it pretty much stays all winter long. But definitely a big difference compared to what's out here right now. So my plan is to use my transfer pump here, a small electric pump that you see there. I'm going to pump some water from the pond directly into a 160 gallon quarantine tank indoors, and we'll mix about half of the volume of the pond water from here with that into that tank, and then the tank itself will have the other half will be from the indoor pond. So that will hopefully the mixture will get the temperature of the water slightly warmer than what it is out here, but also slightly cooler than what the tank inside is. And my hope being now, because I'm going to have that slight temperature shift down there, I'll be able to move some of the koi in without causing any significant issues for them from temperature shock or anything like that, and will allow them to adjust gradually. I'll leave them in there for an hour or two while the water down there in the quarantine tank warms up a bit, and then move them into the main indoor pond. And if all goes well, what I would do is move a couple more in this afternoon as well. I'm going to try and get most of them in over the next few days, maybe up to the weekend. We'll see how that goes. As I said, they're still eating fine. The auto feeder over there has been working wonderfully. My main concern as of right now is the temperature, because it is significantly colder than indoors, and I know that to be safe I can only move temperatures wise when it's very close for the sake of the fish. So I'm going to work on that now to get the hose inside, pump some water in, get the tank kind of sorted temperature wise what I want. I've had a filter running on it for a couple of weeks now, just to keep water circulating, and have been feeding the tank itself with a bit of water out of the pond to get a bit of bacteria and stuff in there. And the indoor one right now, the only fish that are in there are the 2 sturgeon, so they're keeping those filters alive and well, and everything's looking great down there. On that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera down here. I'm going to move the hose from the transfer pump into the indoor holding tank, and I will show you what that looks like in a few moments here. Then I'll get the transfer of the water done, and I will then come out and get a couple of the fish and move them inside. Because I'm doing this on my own, I won't be able to kind of film that process. Just a little too awkward. But I will show you the 2 that I have moved inside. And I am also going to do some measuring up from the fish once I have them indoors, just to make it a little easier to see. So if you just kind of bear with me, I will be back shortly. Alright, I'm indoors now, and I apologize if there's a bit of a volume issue for my speaking or the noise down here in the basement. Indoor pond that you've seen before. This is my quarantine tank that I am putting the water into now from the outdoor pond. You can see I've got my filter running on it, and the transfer pump that you saw a few moments ago outside is doing a great job. That's the water flowing in there. That water that's coming in now is coming directly from the outdoor pond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up to approximately this much here, but an inch or so below the level of the top of the pond. I do have netting, as you can see, already in place, so that will be staying on while the fish are in here. I know it's not a lot of space for them. They're not going to be happy, but my main goal is to get them into the main pond for the winter months, and as I said, they will be moved into there once they spend an hour or so to kind of acclimatize in the quarantine tank. The sturgeon, not sure if you'll be able to see anybody in there. I just fed them some clams, so they're probably cruising around down at the bottom at the moment. The shower tower is working well. My other filters here, the moving bed and the two with the static A1 media in there, are doing very well also. So I think I'm good that way from filtration standpoint. And so just moving the fish in here once this water gets kind of mixed, and that way the temperature shock won't be too great for them. So I'm going to put the camera down now. I'll just go and take a quick look outside to see how the water level is doing based on the pump running, and then I will shut it off and prepare to move some fish inside. So once I've got a couple in the holding tank, or my quarantine tank here, I will do a quick video up. The water transfer from the outdoor pond to the holding tank indoors has now been completed, and I am ready to catch up a couple of the koi, get them moved inside. I have my handy tools I'm going to need here ready. My sock net for transport, my pan net with the extendable handle is going to be used to catch the fish and move them over to the side so I can get them in the sock net. And then I will be taking them over here in through the back door of the house, which I've propped open, and put some towels down so I don't get too much water on the floor. And from there they'll be going downstairs. And as I said, once I get them in the house, I leave them for an hour or so to adjust to the temperature down there. And I said, then I will take my measuring tank inside and get them measured up before I move them into the indoor pond. And just another quick update, not specifically koi related. Many of you who have seen my channel previously will recall that about 3 months ago now, my dog Sin, that you'd seen featured in some of the videos, had passed away. I adopted a new dog 2 weeks ago. This is him right here. Lovely dog. His name is Lucky. He's an amazing dog. He was a rescue from Greece. Not sure the actual history of him, believed to be about 2 years old. The one thing that we do know is that his left elbow at some point in his life was fractured and has healed, which is now causing him some mobility issues. Does have a bit of a limp when he walks. The elbow functions slightly, but very difficult for him to bend it. So it's more of a kind of slow walk, or sort of a hop when we're out and about on our walks. He is adapting beautifully, absolutely sweetheart. And I do realize that down the road, there may be some major surgery required or something with respect to the leg. I'm aware of that. I knew that before I agreed to adopt him, but chose to go ahead with the adoption anyway because he just looked like such a sweetheart when I saw him online. And hopefully he'll be fine for many years to come. But as I said, that's the new kind of focus of my doggy life at the moment. As I said, he's doing really well. Great dog, super friendly. And I will be bringing you some more updates with regarding to him. And as I said, his name is Lucky. That's the name he was given by the foster organization where I got him. And I kind of look at it that he's lucky that he managed to survive the injury, whatever he had, And as I say, he's just such a sweetheart, and I'm the lucky one who got to adopt him. So I will bring some updates. And as I said, on that note, I'm going to see if I can do my hand at catching some fish here, get a couple of them indoors, and get them starting to warm up gradually. And then, as I said, I'll do a measure up after that, just to see how they compare to earlier in the season when I brought them out. This fish has now been in the quarantine, or my holding tank here, for a little over an hour now, about an hour and 15 minutes. The water is still cool, but definitely not as cold as it was when I first started the process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move them one by one into the measuring tank here, get a quick measurement, and I'll mention that in the video. And then hopefully, if I can kind of figure things out when I'm putting the video together, I will make note of the measurements compared to what it was when they were measured in the spring. So if you just bear with me for a moment here, and I do apologize for kind of getting in the way of the camera here. I'll do my best to sort of stay out of the way while I'm doing the measuring, and hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on here. So I'm going to get the first fish in the group. At least that's kind of the plan. Alright, so here's the Haiyut Suri that I picked up off here. And, or whatever it is, sure, I guess I should say. So I'm going to get a measurement of, I believe it's a female. I'm going to get a measurement now. Definitely has grown since I brought it home. Just hold on for a moment, and then it will go into the other tank. So we're looking at 16 inches. So that has definitely put on some growth and some size over the summer outside. I'm just going to get it into the sock net now and move it into the pond with the sturgeon. I'm sure he'll be much, much happier once he gets in there. So, number one, now we're going to take sturgeon. Now the second one, again I do apologize if I'm kind of blocking the camera view here. Okay, so here's the second one. I'm just going to get it out of the holding tank in a moment. The measuring tank it goes. Now this one you probably won't recognize. It is actually a kumaru. And I'm going to do my best to insert a picture into the video of when I first put this fish in the pond. And you'll see the massive difference in coloration that it has achieved over the summer. When I went into the pond, it was almost completely black. As you can see now, it is almost 100% white. Something the kumarus do is regularly change color, as you know. So I'm going to get, again, another measurement of this one. So you just kind of bear with me for a second here. This one we're looking at 18 inches. So I'll get this one in with the sturgeon now as well. And then the final one for the moment, I will get out and get in there also for measurement. And we'll let you see that as well. So this one is going in with the sturgeon. And the final one I'm going to get now, and again I do apologize if I'm kind of stepping in the view of the camera here. This one you'll see in a moment is my kumaru butterfly. Now I don't expect that she's put on much size over the summer. She was already a pretty big girl. So I will get another measurement. And as I said, I'm hoping that you can see some of this on the video. Let me just get her up against the measuring scale here. Now she's very active, as you can see, does not like to be held in place any length of time. So let her kind of settle a wee bit here. Try and do sort of like spins that I've seen people do before, just to kind of disorient them a little bit. And let's see if that made any difference at all. Not really. So just my best to see what the measurement is there. Okay, so about 26 inches, give or take a tiny bit. So I'm going to get her in with the sturgeon as well in the main pond. And then I will end this segment of the video there. It's my hope that I can get another 2 or 3 brought indoors this afternoon. Just want to let everybody kind of settle for a minute. Okay, and she is now in with the sturgeon as well in the indoor pond. So as I said, I'm going to end the video there. I'm going to leave them for a while just to see how they're faring with the change in water temperature, etc. And if all goes well, I will bring in 2 or 3 more, and I will provide an additional update on the video to let you know how that is going. Thursday, October 12th, about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It is an absolutely gorgeous day out here, sun-wise. Still a little chilly. It's 14 degrees Celsius at the moment. With the wind, it feels closer to 8 degrees. This morning when I took the dogs for a walk, it was 3 degrees, so definitely has warmed up, but certainly is chilly. I have just taken 3 more of the koi into the house. They're now in the quarantine tank in order to kind of warm up a little bit there before I transfer them into the tank with the sturgeon. The other ones I moved over yesterday that you saw earlier in the video are doing very, very well. The method I used was the same as I did yesterday with my transfer pump, taking about 80-90 gallons of water out of here into the tank downstairs in the basement, and using some water out of the indoor pond in that tank as well to kind of, so the water is not as cold as it is outside, but definitely not as warm as it is inside. So as I said, I have moved 3 more fish, and I think that's going to be it probably for this week. I'm not available to do anything on the pond or with the fish on Saturday or Sunday, as I have other commitments. And it'll give the filter downstairs time to kind of catch up to the new fish load that is going on. Right now, while they are settling in and warming up down there, I have, as you can see here, one of the easy pods is bubbling away for its cleaning. The first one here with the lid on I did yesterday. The second one did not get cleaned. As you can probably see there, it's looking kind of grungy at the moment, but it's bubbling away, so I'm going to leave that go for a while, and I'll give it a couple of good bubbles. Moving bed is working very, very well. Upflow filters I will clean a little bit later on. They are right there next to the shower, which is working wonderfully as well. So that's kind of it at the moment. That little bit of a squeal that you may hear is the autofill valve over here in the corner of the pond, kind of where my Karachi Goi is, just coming up there to the ball on it. It does that as it starts to fill, and it'll gradually quiet down as the water level goes up a little bit. But because I did drain some water out of here to move the fish downstairs, and a little bit yesterday when I cleaned the other Easy Pod filter, and I didn't top it up, so the level is down a little bit below where it should be, so it's being topped up now. And as I said, hopefully I will be able to get some more fish moved next week. That's kind of my goal for sure. Bit of a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing is what I'm hoping, depending on the weather. The ones out here are doing well. I have removed the auto feeder that was over there by the Buddha. The water's getting a bit too cold for the amount of feedings that they were getting out here. So I would be feeding kind of once a day by hand. and the feeder will get set up out here again next season. But as you can see, the other ones are doing very well. I'm sure they're not going to be too impressed when it's time to go inside, but they'll stay certainly warmer. This beast here, my biggest one, she's going to be a bit of a challenge to get her into the house, as she always is. Being the biggest and the heaviest one, a bit more challenge for me physically, but you know, I will get it done. I know that's not going to be a problem. So on that note, I'm just going to kind of end this part of the video here. Once the fish have had an hour and a half or so in the tank in the basement to allow the water to kind of warm up a little bit, they will get moved into the tank along with the sturgeon. So on that note, I will put the camera down now, and I will get back to you when I do a measure up of the other fish. It's been about an hour and a half since I brought the koi in from outdoors, and I'm going to do a measure up and get them in with the sturgeon now. The first one that I have in the vat here, or my measuring tank, is my Matsakawa Bake. Now unfortunately, it did lose all the white with the exception of a little bit on one pectoral fin. That white disappeared, a number of years ago and just kind of never returned. But that's just kind of the way things are with these fish. So I'm going to do a measure up now, and then I'll get it in with the other tank. So bear with me for a second here. As you can see, it's not terribly happy about being still for the moment. So let me get a quick measure up. That is coming in at 22 inches. So I don't think that's put on any size really since I took it out. I will look at that later on and try and let you know in the video if there's been any change. But I'm going to get it moved in with the sturgeon now, and then I'll get the other fish out. Okay, now to get the second one out. And just bear with me here if you will. The tank they're in is not all that large, but getting them to come around and cooperate, it's always a little bit of a challenge down here. Okay, the one I'm going to put in here now is my Kikokuru. You would have seen in an earlier video when I mentioned that I had purchased it from an individual that was closing down the pond. So I think it has put on some size. Again, I will get a measurement here. You may notice if you look closely, there's a little bit of a sore on the top of the dorsal fin here. A little bit there, a little ray, but I'll nip that off later on once it's been inside for a while and just kind of calm down. I'll take it out and sedate and just trim that little piece of bone off of there. I guess something just kind of happened over the summer outside, so hasn't impacted the fish at all from an appetite standpoint or anything. Let's get a quick measurement. And this one is also coming in at 22 inches. So get it into the thing with the sturgeon. And then just one more to go for now. So much nicer when they cooperate here. Alright, just one more to get. And that will be it for today. this is the final one. This is a very dark Ochiba, and I'm just going to get, this is one of the youngest ones in my collection. This is, I believe, now a Nisei. Again, just get a measurement on here. That is 18 inches for that one. A nice fish. Again, very, very dark. I think the color will change somewhat once it gets into the slightly warmer water here in the indoor tank. So I'm going to get it transferred over now as well. And then, as I said previously, what I am going to try to do is make a notation in the video that the size they were when they went out to the pond and the size they are now. So if you just, again, let me just get this one, get it in the other tank. All right, so that's it for the moment as far as the fish moving is concerned. I'm just going to pause the camera for a second here, just take it off the tripod, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. All right, back again. The fish have now been moved into the tank here. I know the lighting is not the best. You can see some of them kind of cruising around a little bit there. I'm sure they are going to be kind of disappointed to be inside here because of the much smaller volume of water than what they were in for the summer. But at least when they're in here, I know they're safe for the winter. I can care for them very easily. I don't have to worry about freezing or cold temperatures or anything like that. So on that note, I am going to just get the filters going. I did turn them off so that I could do the video because it is very loud when they're running down here. So I'll get the main one going now. And you'll see that start up, and you can hear the tower starting as well. And I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a change for the sturgeon having the company down here. But that should be it for pretty much for today. As I mentioned a moment ago, I am not going to do anything with respect to moving any more fish for now. I want the filters to have a few days opportunity to kind of catch up from a bio load. Today is Thursday. So again, if I give Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just leave things as they are. And then on Monday, I will get some more of the fish moved inside. So that's 6 of them in there now. And I'm hoping to get the remainder moved in over the course of next week. So I'm just going to end this part of the video right here and go up and get myself some dinner, let the dogs out. They just ate theirs. And I will be back with an update before much longer. Thanks again for watching. The barriers are now temporarily in place. I have to do a bit more securing along the side posts there and there on that side and in the middle, and then I do put a couple of cross braces along this area here just to secure so they do not get moved by the koi or the sturgeon. I actually did very well, surprisingly, getting them in this time and managed in fairly short order to corral the 2 sturgeon, the short nose that you see there and the sterlet just cruising around the bottom there, with only 1 koi trapped on their side. So that's much better than I usually do. So I will finish securing the barriers where they need to be, and then I will scoop that koi out and get him back over on this side where he belongs. I know this doesn't give the sturgeon certainly as much room as they had, and the short nose here I'm sure is definitely ticked off at me at the moment. He will adjust. The main thing that will be different for him, apart from swimming space, is now when I feed, he will get the food that is intended for him without fear of the koi getting their mouths on it and consuming it all. So what I'm going to do is I will complete the securing of the barrier, or the divider I should say, in place here. And once that's done, I'll give you just another quick little look at it, and then I'll get the filter and everything running again. Got lots of air coming into the pond, which is critical for both the koi and especially for the sturgeon. The shower filter is off at the moment, as you can see, as are the moving bed and the barrel filters at the other end of the pond. Primarily because I didn't want a lot of water splashing and everything while I'm trying to work in here, and get the fish, kind of more riled up than I'm sure they already are. As I said, I'm going to continue just to get things in place, and once that is done, I will get the water refilling, and I'm going to bring the sturgeon a nice feed of clams. That's going to be their treat for today, and the koi will get their koi food, and they will probably get some mealworms or black soldier fly larvae, something like that, in a little while as well. So I'm just going to put the camera down again for the moment so I can finish the securing of the divider, and once that's done I will get back to you with just a short update on that. Alright, the divider has now been secured in place along both sides, top and bottom. I have the additional rails along the top here, and midway down you can see there, and that secures the middle section where the divider joins. And what that also does is, because of the shape, the way I've got things set up here, it actually causes the divider to bow a little bit in towards this part of the pond. I'm not sure if you can kind of see that overhead or not there. So it actually provides a little bit more space for the sturgeon to kind of cruise around. And that was the main goal, of course, of getting this in here in first place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to climb out of the pond. You see my trusty swimming pool ladder here that I use to get in and out, because without that I would be stuck in here. And once I'm out, I'll get the filters and everything running again. And as I said, I've got to get that koi out of the sturgeon side, get it back over here where she belongs. And I think at that point I'm going to end the video here. I will provide an update next week when I'm moving some more of the fish in. But it's been a while since I posted anything. There really hasn't been an awful lot going on around here this summer. And I am now getting a bit more involved, of course, with moving the fish, doing the measure up at the end of the season, etc. So I'm going to kind of finish off here. I really appreciate your support, and as always, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below. Also, if you haven't already done so, I would appreciate a subscription and a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Always happy to share what information I can provide. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe.